Category 3 Hurricane Milton is just hours away from making landfall on the west coast of Florida. Sean Humphrey is live in studio tonight. And for those of you who don't know, before he moved here in West Texas, Sean lived in Florida. Sean, what surprised you about this storm?
Well, Bert, we know this is an extremely dangerous storm, and throughout the day it's been the tornado threat that has been quite shocking. This is footage from Clewiston, Florida, just southwest of Lake Okeechobee. It looks like a very large tornado. The Florida Public Radio Emergency Network is headquartered at my alma mater, the University of Florida. I spoke with the organization's chief meteorologist, who is keeping people across the state up to date. He says conditions today provided an unusually favorable environment for violent tornadoes.
So you still get a good October sun. With all of the moisture-laden air that we have, the atmosphere becomes instantaneously unstable. And it's become so unstable to a fact that we're able now to have the dynamics with Milton offshore and enough spin and tilt in the atmosphere to we're able to develop these big tornadoes that otherwise we would not see.
By the early afternoon, the National Weather Service had issued tornado warnings across most of the southern half of the Florida peninsula. Hey, Britain, hurricane season in Florida is something you prepare for every year, and I've seen friends of mine have catfish dropped on their front porches before, but tornadoes throughout the day have ripped roofs off of some houses. Tim told me tornadoes would be less severe as the night goes on, but it's a persistent threat. What are things looking like right now?
Sean, Hurricane Milton right now getting ready to make landfall in the state of Florida. Like you mentioned, really a lot of tornado warnings throughout the day. A little bit of some good news. We have a less favorable environment for Hurricane Milton. And with that, I think we will slowly but surely see the tornado threat taper a little bit. It's still going to be in play though, so definitely an impactful storm with Hurricane Milton. For us in West Central Texas, things are looking to stay calm. We'll have temperatures in the 70s and 80s tonight. Thursday, we are going to rinse and repeat. Morning temperatures going to be near 60. Afternoon temperatures could warm into the mid-90s. 94 for St. Angelo and Abilene, 95 in Breckenridge. Thursday looks to be the warmest day on my 7-day forecast. And good news, I'm not expecting any record-breaking temperatures. Still definitely want to be drinking lots of water. Now, for more on Hurricane Milton, here is meteorologist Chris Nation. Chris?
All right, let's get right to it. Let's talk about what Milton is doing, where it is at. And now the good news is we were very concerned over the last 24 hours that this storm could wind up being one of those legendary hurricanes. It was a Category 5. It was one of the 5th or 6th strongest hurricanes ever recorded. And the good news is that it did encounter the cold front. We were worried that would not actually happen. That cold front boundary just to the north, up to the edge of the screen here, up towards the Tallahassee edge, that cold front has knocked the energy down. Now, while the storm is absolutely working its way into Florida as I speak, it is now down to a Category 3, and that is a very good thing. We were very concerned that it would go into Tampa as a Category 5 and do absolute widespread destruction. Now, when it goes down to this Category 3, it is now, we can see its current position is there. It's got winds of about 120 miles an hour off the edge of the eye wall. That eye wall is right there. In fact, that eye wall will be working its way onshore in the next few hours, probably next hour or so, be coming onshore. Now we take a look at the radar through the satellite itself, infrared showing that the core of the system no longer has an eye wall. So that's a good thing too. Coming down to a 3, the eye wall has collapsed at this point, and because it has collapsed, that has brought the energy down as well. It is now moving onshore, and it will be south of Tampa, meaning the highest surge, about 8 to 12 feet of a storm surge potential, will be about 45 to 50 miles south of the Tampa area. And that's a good news because the densest population is actually right off the edge of Tampa, stretching down to Sarasota. The edge course right here is where the worst is going to be, from Sarasota down to the edges of Fort Myers. That's where we expect about an 8 to 12 foot storm surge. That purple is winds of 80 miles an hour, and the core itself collapsing on our radar just moments ago. So we're keeping a close eye on this thing. Latest data from the radar indication of the storm surge is somewhere in the stretching range of about 8 to 12 feet. We are seeing that right up to the edge of Port Charleston, stretching down all the way towards the edge of the bay towards Flamingo. That's about 4 feet. So this is a serious storm. Even as a Category 3, there is a significant tornado risk inside this system as well. So it is moving in, going to be onshore technically in the next 30 or 45 minutes. Look at this satellite, absolutely massive system. This is powering its way through Florida as we speak. Finally, quick check of the radar. Latest imaging shows that that right there is still an eye wall. Technically, even though you couldn't see it, it will be onshore in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Guys, we're going to keep a close eye on this. We're going to track the storm down. But this system is an unbelievable beast. Multiple watches and warnings out there. Even now, we have 2 tornado warnings, as well as a tornado watch and a flood watch, all in play as I'm speaking. This hurricane is hitting Florida right now.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Floridian